Greetings, my name is Sherry Raftery. Welcome to Helping You Take Center Stage, Public Speaking and Leadership Tips. I will be inviting guests who will be able to share their stories and tips on public speaking and leadership. I was the district governor of Toastmasters in 2009-10, and I've been a Toastmaster for 10 years. And during my time in there, I learned a lot about public speaking and leadership, and I will be bringing guests, and today I have a very good friend of mine, Michelle DeFronzo.
Thank you for having me, Sherry.
You're welcome. Today is opening day Red Sox, so we want to say go Red Sox.
Yes.
Michelle has a red on and I've got my blue on.
That's right.
April is also National Stress Awareness, and it's National Humor Month. I have a joke of the day.
Nice.
So Michelle,
Uh-oh.
what does every woman call an intelligent, attractive, caring, loving, and sensitive man?
I hope my Valentine.
A dream.
A dream. All right, all right.
So I want to make it more about you, Michelle. You're an amazing leader on a local and international level. Michelle has many talents. She's the founder of Imex Cargo. She's the president of the Air Cargo Club New England. She's the producer of Realm Music Group. She's an avid golfer. She's also on the board. She's a board member of the Caribbean American Carnival Association of Boston. And she's also a granddaughter and a daughter. Please help me welcome my guest, Michelle DeFronzo, and please share with us how it was that you became interested in the cargo industry.
To be honest, I've been in cargo now 22 years. Imex Cargo was founded 14 years ago. And before that, I was working in the freight forwarding side, so I was in shipping almost 8-9 years before starting my own business. And it was actually just something kind of I fell upon. It wasn't really something I was seeking out at the time. I was actually in banking at the time, and they were actually one of my commercial clients, the first freight forwarder that I actually went to. So I went from going on from State Street in Boston to Chelsea, Massachusetts. So it was an interesting transition.
It's really great. Mm-hmm. So what do you do in shipping? What is that about? Tell us what happens.
Shipping,
What's
the day is very interesting, and the day is almost never the same. When people think about shipping, they think about what do you ship, or what do I ship? I ship everything imaginable. If people took the chance and the time to just look around their house for even 15 or 20 minutes, you'll actually notice all the products that come from overseas. So we actually make the world just kind of go round in shipping. I mean, everything from probably this table and chairs to the food that is put on your table is coming most likely from overseas.
Wow.
You'll see a lot of seafood coming from overseas. You'll see clothing, obviously, that's made from overseas. United States is just not a manufacturing country.
Wow.
So you'd be surprised at all the product and things that actually go around the world.
What's it like for you as a leader when you're running the Imex Cargo?
It's interesting. It was always a boys' network. Okay. Shipping was always a kind of a man's network. And it wasn't probably 20 years, 30 years ago where women really started to take a more active role in shipping. And so it's been quite interesting. Obviously you're probably dealing with more prevalently with men than women in higher positions, I would imagine. But for me, it's really been a great challenge, and I love the day-to-day. It's never a mundane kind of day. It's even though you're shipping maybe similar products every day, there's always different things that go on throughout the day that you got to be active and
nice.
Yeah. So it's interesting.
Share with us what it's like to be a leader as the president of the Air Cargo Club New England. That's a pretty big role to take, and you've had it for a few years. I heard that they won't let you go.
They won't let me go.
Your term ended, but you're like, no, you're not going anywhere.
This is
because you're a phenomenal leader. So share with
you.
us what you do, what the club does.
Well, it's interesting. The Air Cargo Club of New England is a nonprofit organization that was established in 1965. So it's been around over 40-something years. And basically, the founding members put the organization together to keep industry professionals kind of together and know what's going on in the world today, whether it be by air freight, by trucking, customs compliance issues. And basically our forum is based around customs brokers, truckers, warehouse people, ground handlers, freight forwarders, airlines. So we're a vast industry of different professionals that all kind of really work together and come together. Because we really, although some of us, we compete with each other, we really rely on each other's business in order to make a complete logistics transaction. So, in other words, not one person or one company can get a product from A to Z.
Yes.
You using all those sources of transportation.
So share with us, how does someone go about shipping? I know there's some notary documents that need to be notarized by chambers. Explain a little bit about how does one thing go to another? How do we ship one from one place to another? There's probably a lot of...
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of steps that, probably people don't realize. Even whether you take a package on, to the post office or whether you come to one of our facilities, a person shows up at the door and they drop a package and then it shows up at somebody else's door and it just looks like it's a simple transaction.
Right.
But basically, you're sometimes using every mode of transportation possible. You're using an airline, you're using a trucker, you're using an ocean freight company, you're using the rail. You could be customs brokerage, because if things are coming into the country, everything needs to be cleared. Now we have more and more customs and compliance issues, so we work very closely with Homeland Security and TSA. So there's a lot of steps that go into moving a piece of cargo.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what do you do as the president? Do you meet with different members on the board and you decide what you're going to do? You have events? What
for the air cargo? Well, the air cargo, like I said, we've been around since 1965, and the reason why they first got established was, for all the noise that we actually create and all the traffic problems that we created along the airport. So the thought behind, the events obviously were for getting people together.
Right.
But the donations and the giving back to the community was based on because we would make so much noise or pollution or congestion in the area. So it was a way of us, for us to give back to the community for.
And you do a great job at that. So talk about some of the ways, what are some of the events that you put on, and then some of the recipients that receive the scholarships.
Over the years, there's been a lot of recipients.
So the events that you have, I know that you do golf tournaments.
We do. We have about 4 events a year, usually quarterly.
Yep.
Some of them that we have changed up, but golf and the annual holiday party are the ones that have stayed the same.
Okay.
We've kind of toyed with a few of the others just to see what kind of works.
Yeah.
But the golf outing is a huge success. We sell that out every year. So, and then there's the Christmas party, holiday party that we have in December. Yeah. We started 8 years ago, International Trade Night. It was at first the carrier night, and it was really based around the airlines and things like that. But as our members grew in the different fields of expertise, we included them more so that we could showcase their talent at the International Trade Show.
Great.
So so that's, and then I think the September event has been, we've done different things. We have our annual board meeting, and we've done just different things like cruises and trips and things like that.
So for the trade night, you just had the 8th annual trade night.
8th International Trade Night.
Invited the keynote speakers were, talk a little bit about.
We had the Tuskegee Airmen there, the New England chapter of the Tuskegee Airmen, and we actually honored them at the event. The topic was based on Homeland Security and protecting our borders, and so what we thought was that we would have not only the Tuskegee Airmen, but we had veterans there. Yeah. We had the Department of Homeland Security there, Customs Border Patrol, and so because we figured, to be honest, when you think of shipping, you don't really think about all the things that can happen in cargo, and we're really the first line of defense against terrorism. So we have a very important role
Right.
when shipping cargo. It's our responsibility to make sure that we know if the shipper is known. We have to know the contents of what's in the boxes. So you can't just come to the place and be like, oh, okay, I just want to ship this. Before 9/11, it was a little bit different.
Right. That's
But now, you know, since the terrorist attacks, there's more precautions that we have to take and more compliance issues that we have to deal with. So.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So also, you're a golfer, Michelle, and I just wanted to ask you, so
Not very good, but
actually, no, I think you're good. I've seen you play. And I'm not a golfer. Mini golf, I can sometimes get a hole in one. So I wanted to just pull this out. I was invited a few years ago to the Home for Little Wanderers Women in One. It was a luncheon, but they played golf, so I just tooled around in the golf cart, which is what I prefer to do.
That's very fun.
So the rules of golf are intentionally standardized, and they are jointly governed by the RA, which is the Royal and Ancient Golf Club of St. Andrews, and the United States Golf Association. So here's the underlying principles of the rules in fairness. This is what it says. It says, play the ball as it lies.
That's right.
Play the course as you find it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you cannot do either, do what is fair. I found that in Wikipedia. And I used that in speech. So I just thought that was a good tip that I use in leadership tip too.
Ah, very interesting.
Because
Do what is fair.
That can go with pretty much
It
anything.
sure can.
Exactly.
It sure can.
And then I know that you have the every year the Christmas party, which I was honored when I was invited to speak for the Home for Little Wanderers as a board ambassador, and you presented me with a check for the home, and we want to thank you. And I know there's a lot of other organizations that you give to. You could mention them if you want.
Okay.
Park.
Yeah. There was so many. We try to diversify the donations every year so that we're giving to different charitable events.
Yep.
We've done the Pierce Park Sailing Program. We've done the Boston Wounded Vet Run, which I'm sure you're familiar with. They're only in their third year, but they've done a fantastic job. Andrew Biggio, exactly. And I think we've done Home for Wanderers a couple of times.
Yeah.
We've given to Zoomix.
Yes, Zoomix.
Because obviously they have a great after-school and program for children, to learn music and
Susan
the
G.
keeping exactly the Susan G. Coleman Walk for Cancer we've done as well.
The shelter, it was a homeless shelter.
We've done a number of homeless shelters.
So as
There's the Legion's Boys and Girls Club several times as well.
right.
Because
and that's so important. You're giving to organizations, kids, families, as a leader once again. So again, thank you for that. And then I know that you also you own and you founded Realm Music Group. So talk about that and what you do with that and who you work with on that and what groups you work with.
Okay, so Realm Music Group is an independent record label that was founded. Yes. So it's been a very interesting journey. I actually got involved in that with my partner, who's the president. I'm actually the CEO. Exactly, Ricky Eric. I don't actually produce music myself, but I have written a couple of jingles and a couple of songs that I just kind of took a stab at. Nothing, spectacular or anything like that. But basically what I tried to do is to just take the principles of business and apply the same things to music, because it wasn't just about producing music. Obviously, I have no talent in producing the music. But it's a matter of distributing the music and selling the music and marketing the music. And I thought, okay, well, I already do that in my everyday life at Imex Cargo or other things. So I thought I'm just going to apply those same principles. So when I travel overseas, which I do a lot for the shipping company, I will actually take our catalog of music and see music companies overseas for licensing and distribution and sales of our music. So we have we're not a very big label. We have about, maybe 6 or 8 artists, something like that, where we've produced music. We have reggae, rock and roll, R&B. We actually produced this fantastic Christmas album. And right now the president is working on what he calls his final album. It's going to be an acoustic blues album.
Nice.
And he's working with some really, really top producers out in Miami, Florida. Right now, so yeah, this is really supposed to be his time, and it's his time to shine.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Awesome, awesome, wow. And you are also involved in the Caribbean, actually you're on the board now, for the Caribbean American Carnival Association of Boston, which began in 1973, and I heard that it's one of the second largest outdoor events in the Boston area.
It sure is. It sure
Share
is.
with us about that.
So the Caribbean American Carnival Association of Boston, they just held their 40th anniversary in Boston. So the parade, it's a 3-day event. They have Kiddies Carnival,
Nice.
and that's all the children that participate in the Trinidad style carnival event. So, and there's a lot of, obviously the Caribbean islands all participate. And I've never really seen anything like it. It's actually 700,000 people that come to Boston for this event.
Wow.
It is the third largest carnival event in the country, second only to Miami and New York.
Wow.
So I really thought that was pretty interesting.
That,
For an organization to bring in that many people, to the Boston area.
Right.
And so it's a 3-day event. They're held separately. The Kiddies Carnival is 1 day. Then they have the King and Queen show. And then it's the parade on the third day, the third and final day. And I think there might be even a Juve parade as well.
yeah.
So it's festivities for the whole week, flag raisings and
Wow.
things like that. It's very impressive. I didn't realize that. I never saw a parade until or a carnival or anything like that until I actually went for the first time, which was 3 years ago.
Okay.
So I became involved in the Caribbean American Carnival Association through one of my contracts that I do shipping with, being active in the Caribbean and the Latino community. So that's kind of how I got involved, and I just went and participated as a sponsor for several years. And it wasn't until recently, I think it was January, where they actually asked me to come and participate on their board, which was really nice. It was really nice.
It's a good fit for you.
It was a good fit.
Especially since you're shipping all around the globe and you're familiar with this audience and that.
Exactly.
groups and
Yeah. So it kind of diversified my portfolio,
Nice.
and it gave me the chance to work at a retail level, where a lot of my other contracts are wholesale.
Okay.
And so it gave me a chance to work at, with the Caribbean people and the Latino community. So that's really what's growing
Right.
in the area. So,
Yes. Nice.
yeah. So it's been interesting.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about Nana too. Your Nana, we just lost Nana.
Yeah,
So
last
if you
two Saturdays ago. She was 93. Michelina Toludo.
Yeah. And talk about her and her leadership and how it affected you as a strong female.
Well, it's interesting because my grandmother was 93 when she passed away just March 16, 2 weeks ago. It's been.
Yeah.
And I'm actually first generation here. My family migrated 59 years ago from Sicily. And my grandmother came here. She had 3 children when she came over on the boat through Ellis Island. She landed in the North End and then to East Boston, where we all grew up. And my grandfather had passed away very early on, so she actually had to raise 7 children on her own. So she had 4 more children here in the United States.
Wow.
Yes, and my grandmother is responsible for so many families being here in the East Boston and the Massachusetts area, because she was the one who sponsored them, and they actually lived with us.
Yeah, talk about that sponsorship, because maybe some people don't know about how to get over, how they used to bring people over.
They used to. Well, I don't know what the process is, because I really wasn't even born, but I know that a lot of my family members are very thankful. I mean, her service was incredible.
Wow.
All the people that came out, and how many people that said, "Oh, I stayed with you guys, and I lived with you for months, and it was because of your grandmother and things like that." So, and my grandmother, that's all she pretty much cared about was family.
And did you learn English here at all?
She
maybe?
My grandmother spoke broken English, and she learned what she could, but she obviously she twisted up a bunch of the words, and it was more that we could understand a lot. She had her own thing going on.
Was it your cousin that gave the eulogy? It was a beautiful eulogy.
That was my cousin Christine.
She did a great job.
She really did, and
I was impressed with her public speaking skills for someone who had never done
that. It was. I think she was really on point.
She was on point.
And she really highlighted everything about her, because like I said, there was really nothing but family is all that she was concerned about, and the way that she kept everybody together. I mean, my family is huge, a really big family. And it's really because of the one person. So she has 22 grandchildren and 22 great-grandchildren, all of which she managed to keep together.
That's
you know,
amazing.
yeah. So nobody could stray far from her. And yeah, so she was definitely a very, very strong woman.
Yeah.
And you know, she just she had the ability to just make you feel like everything is just going to be perfectly fine.
Right.
Yeah. So and same thing. My mom is a very
She's
strong, independent woman. She raised 4 of us on her own, different reasons, but she was a divorced single mom.
Okay.
But she raised 4 of us, and I honestly have to say that pretty much all 4 of us are pretty independent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We're all hardworking, independent people.
We are.
Yeah.
So, would you be willing to share with us some leadership tips, and speaking tips? Because I know when you have different groups, you have to speak to them too. So maybe you could share with us.
I think when it comes to public speaking, I think obviously the first couple of times it's pretty scary.
Yeah.
But I think when you are confident about your topic, that helps.
Yeah.
When you're knowledgeable and you know what you're talking about, it comes across. So I think that helps, with public speaking. And I think, once you get over the fear once or twice, and, maybe just target a certain area that you maybe want to look at, and, and
That's really
I think,
good.
I think that is helpful. But, if you get up to speak in public and you don't know what you're talking about, you're going to be extra nervous, and that's going to show. And, just like the old commercials say, never let them see you sweat, that's all you have to do is never let them see you sweat. You can sweat on the inside later. So, yeah, and then I think as far as my leadership style might not be the same as somebody else's, but I think...
what would you say your leadership style is?
I would say I'm a visionary.
Okay.
And I'm democratic.
I like that one.
I like the democratic process.
You like people to be involved.
Yes, I like for people to be involved, and I think that I like to look at it as I hope to motivate and inspire people to achieve the same goal.
I like that, Michelle.
I don't really like to, you do this, and I'm not that kind of person.
Right.
I hope that everybody comes to the table for the same goal, and even if they might not see something a certain way, that maybe they're enlightened, or that they share their experiences, and that we come to a common goal.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
really
I would say that would be more my style.
Yeah. Was that how your mom and your Nana were as well?
My grandmother was the boss. She was the boss up until the day she passed. Literally, yeah. Whatever she said went. And it was funny because she did a lot of bossing with her finger. You get this and you put that, and
That's
so But I would say
and
that
Mom too. I know you have a great relationship with both of them. I mean, both of them. I can see the closeness.
we're very,
And
very
Mom,
close.
You and Mom cook together. You guys
Yeah,
are good cooks.
we love the kitchen.
Let's talk a little bit about the veterans that you help out too. I forgot to mention that.
I did that.
'Cause
Yeah.
You do a lot with them. You do the vets run. Actually, you're also motorcyclists.
Yeah.
Bike.
I haven't
And
rode
you
the bike in a
help
while.
out ED Bijoux, the veterans run.
Well, the Air Cargo Club made a donation, and I'm hoping that we'll do the donation again this year.
Right.
Because that's coming up April 27th,
Yes.
and it's really for a great cause. It's really about time that somebody take the veteran center stage.
Yes.
That's how I feel, and it was.
Yes.
I was just mostly impressed by how he was able to
he's
do
so
that
young.
in a short amount of time.
Such a good kid.
And he was the perfect person for it because he knew from the inside.
How to- yeah.
Yes.
That's right.
And he was able to create that kind of compassion and the empathy to get people really involved and committed. I think probably a lot of people, thought about it and they knew that, you know, our veterans needed help, but really nobody really stepped up to the plate as he did.
Right.
And, you know, I know he doesn't always like to take credit for it, but really he's the one who brought it to the forefront.
Yeah. And he does a lot. I mean,
he does a lot.
He does a lot in Saugus. He does East Boston. I mean, he's everywhere.
Exactly.
And he travels around, and he really cares. I mean, I know I've seen a lot of his posts on the two firemen that we just lost.
Yes, yeah.
And we salute them.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny because I think he actually started the vet run now in New York, and I think even the West Coast is now after.
Right.
You know, just kind of to benchmark how he did it, what he, you know, what he had to do, and obviously, I think Representative Carlo Basil had a lot to do with that and bringing that to the forefront as well.
Yes.
So obviously he should get, you know, credit for that as well, because you know it takes a team. It's not really one person.
Right.
It's not really one person, but the one person did bring it to, you know, somebody's attention, and the amount of support that he's getting now and the funds that he's raised now. It's only in his third year. I think they were close to $300,000 or something like that, and so. It's very impressive, and it's very honorable. I'm really proud to be a part of that, and I hope to contribute more.
And let's not forget that you made Thanksgiving dinner for them at the Italian.
That was that was
you and your mom.
Yeah, me and my mom.
Yeah, I mean,
we were supposed to be volunteering to help out, and I guess they're the people that were volunteering. Yeah, they weren't. Yeah, it was delicious. Yeah. So it was good. Thank God for Mom, because I think I called her up at like the last minute, and she was like, "What did you get yourself into now?" So it was good. She didn't hesitate, and I think we had about 20 or 30 people show up for dinner, and that was pretty nice. I enjoyed myself that day.
Michelle, another thing you've done as a leader is you started a few programs, and one was the resumes, and as well as the scholarships. Can you talk a little bit about the scholarships and the program that you started?
Of course. As a matter of fact, we were thinking about ways to increase our membership, and we thought, okay, how about giving something back to our members? And we were trying to think about, you know, ways to do that, and obviously college tuition is you know, very high. And so we started a scholarship fund, which we give out. Last year we did our first 5 scholarships for $5,000.
Wow.
And yeah, so basically anybody that is in the cargo community, if you are a member, your immediate family members can put in the scholarship application. To be awarded at our golf outing, so we give each of them a check for college for the September, September basically.
Is it for college only, or
it's for college only?
Some
yes.
people don't necessarily go to college. Like my daughter, she's going to hairdressing school.
We're doing it, yeah, specifically for college.
Okay.
Yeah, so you know, just trying to keep kids in school and you know, help them out with books and things like that.
Trades are good too.
And they are. I mean, maybe you know, maybe that is something that we would consider. Yes, exactly. But it's only in I think our 3rd or 4th year.
Okay,
that we actually started to do that, and I think that actually brought a lot of members back because they found value in what we were doing.
Who are we presenting?
So in the photo, that's our Vice President, Steve Mortel, and that's myself, and the recipient there, I don't remember his name, yep. And that is Bud McCurry. He's our treasurer and the owner of Horizon Air Services. That's actually where I'm located. I'm in that cargo facility, same park.
440,
440. Yeah, we work in the same
Highway, East Boston.
We work in the same area.
Yeah.
And the only other thing that we actually put together was the resume and the job postings, because basically, I mean, I'm in sales, I'm on the road a lot, and so everybody was asking me all the time, "Oh, Michelle, I'm looking for help. Oh, Michelle, I need a job." And I thought, you know, I'm just going to try to connect everybody together. And so when I got started as the president, the first thing I did was to revamp the website. And so I actually connect the employers and the employees.
So smart.
So you get, you know, you have a login if you're a member, and you can go through and search the resume database, because we want to keep our people together.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you so much, Michelle. You're so awesome.
Well, thank you.
Air Cargo Club New England is lucky to have you as one of the leaders.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for coming on my show, Michelle. I want to
thank you. Thank you for having me.
A gift.
Departing gifts.
A departing gift.
Thank you. You didn't have to do that.
Yes, I want to also thank you all for watching, helping you take center stage, public speaking leadership tips. If you would like to be a guest, I'd love to have you. You can reach me at my email. sherry.raftery@aol.com. And we want to say again, go Red Sox. And
Oh, Red Sox.
Again, to the fallen heroes. And I really do appreciate your coming. You're such an amazing leader.
Thank you so
There's
much for
many
having me.
talents,
Thank you.
Motorcycle, golf, I mean, you name it. You're on boards, you're leading. And that's what we look forward to, learning more about you and other leaders in the community. So thank you again.
You did great.
You did too.